Wait a minute, what?
It looks like a street family, something by myself.
A street family.
A street.
What does she need, do you think? Oh, yeah, just tell me.
I'm sorry,
No, that's okay.
the drug court.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. Thank you so much for letting me know. The piercings underneath the lip, were those painful?
No, ma'am. I
Okay.
didn't get them at the same time either.
Every day, courtrooms reveal who's really in control and who's not. There are the top 4 entitled women Judge Boyd had to deal with.
Your Honor, no disrespect, but like, how are you like saying all this about me when you don't even know anything about me?
Let me tell you what I
Like,
know
you're
about
Yes, ma'am.
counsel. Do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented? Did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with injury to the elderly, bodily injury? That's a 3rd-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine.
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes.
Reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor. My client has obviously, since this case occurred back in July of 22, she's obviously stayed out of trouble, Your Honor. She's been to court. She is going to school. She's becoming a business, nevertheless.
Esthetician.
Currently she works as an esthetician, which is my understanding is skincare.
Mhm.
And that's what she does for a living, but she's also going back to school to get her degree in business administration. She has 2 children, a 15-year-old, a 17-year-old that she takes care of. And this is a difficult case, obviously, for her judge. This is a true no contest plea, and this is what she believes is in her best interest. She wants to get off probation as soon as possible, do everything she can, Your Honor. So we just ask you to grant this and get closure on this.
All right, so Ms. Holmes, you understand when people ask you to leave their property, whether you think you're being evicted legally or not, it's always best to leave and then just handle things civilly. So if this were a case where you didn't think you were being evicted properly, all you had to do was, you know what? I'm going to file a civil case. And it appears that it is not a civil case that would be filed in district court based upon what the amount is. So you would just go to one of the JP courts and you just file it. And there are plenty of people who file that every day. And that's how you solve that, as opposed to coming here. Now you have all of these extra fees and you have this. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So, of course, I always have to ask this question. The piercings underneath the lip, were those painful?
No, ma'am. I
Okay.
didn't get them at the same time either. I got them over a period of time.
So what order did you get them? What was the first one?
I had got this one, I was like 16,
Mhm.
and I got this one, I was like 19, and then I just got this one, and it just compliments when I smile.
Oh, okay. I'm always wondering. And the tattoos, what are the symbols for those?
It's really not too much no symbols, butterflies, music symbol. I play the piano,
Oh, wow.
Bible verses. I grew up in the church.
See, I always wanted to play the piano. And I was going to take it as an elective in college because everybody's like, it's an easy elective. Okay, I'm in a class that's supposed to be for beginners. Everybody in there had a piano at their home and had been playing forever. They were truly taking it as, yes. I couldn't even answer because our professor would say, in order to answer the roll call, you had to play the note he wanted you to play. I'm like, yeah, I'm out of here.
Drop that class.
I dropped it, but I dropped it before they were going to give me a W.
There you go.
I saw the writing on the wall before the end of the week. I was like, no.
Judge, as you know, YouTube that want to learn piano, YouTube will teach you immediately.
All right, we're gonna see. Well, don't put professors out of business. All right, so you're currently employed. Okay. So this is what the court is going to do. The court is going to sentence you to 2 years deferred adjudication. Take in consideration 2023 CR 8418 and state, do you have that? There's going to be regular reporting by Zoom. Thank you. On the person.
Thank you.
There's to be regular random UAs. I always have to tell people who are new to probation, when you're on probation, you're not allowed to drink alcohol at all, even at your own home. You're not allowed to do marijuana even at your own home, because what that's going to result in is they're going to result in a positive UA. And people think these are my rules. These are the rules that the legislatures have put in place. So if you're UA today, is everything going to be fine? All right, what's going to be in your system? All right, so we're going to do random UAs and we're going to test for levels. So those levels need to start going down. You understand? And do not, if they file a motion to revoke because your levels are increasing, do not come back to the court saying you were around people who were smoking, because you have children. You shouldn't be around people who are smoking because it gets in your clothes and children end up smelling like marijuana. Their clothes smell like marijuana. And then children who are at school tend to tease them. And we don't want that. There is to be 150 hours of community service restitution.
May I speak to that, Judge?
Yes.
Is it possible if she can show semester grades going towards her business administration degree, that can satisfy some of that community service?
I was just about to say,
Thank you, Judge.
thank you.
ESPN.
The community service out. Yeah, we're here. The community service hours will be waived once she provides proof of her BA. And honestly, you should be able to finish that, hopefully, before your community supervision has expired. But if you show the court that you're actually taking classes, and when I say take classes, your attorney, no, I will mean this, not just one class a semester, you understand? And I understand that you work, I understand that you have children. So for you, it's going to have to be at least 4 hours a semester. And that's not full time. For this court, at least 8 hours is full time. But because of everything that you have going on in your life, probation, she needs to do at least 4 hours per semester. And there's to be the restitution amount of $3,755.85 to John Ripley. And there's to be field visits 1 time per month for 2 months. Probation, is there anything else? Thank you. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors.
And Judge, was the fine probated? Is that something I need to address?
There was no fine asked for. You're welcome. Probation, anything else? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful? All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Off the record, in this court, to be successful in probation, communication is key. If you have an issue, let your probation officer know about it. If you feel as though your probation officer isn't addressing it, you can always come back to the court and we'll take it up. All right, do you have any questions? All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes,
Thank
once
you.
she talks to probation.
Yes.
Right, let me take a look at the supplement. There's no gum chewing up here.
There's no.
Yes, no problem. I have an issue.
What's your issue, Judge?
All right, so what are the ages of the grandchildren?
My grandchildren are 14, I have 11 of them. 14, 15,
No, I mean the ones that on here it says that you're living with.
Oh, they're 14, 11, 9, and 12.
Oh,
Oh, no, 13. I take it back, 13.
all right. I thought these were young children. That's why I wanted her to be brought in.
Okay.
So that was my concern. So I understand that she's lost her home and her daughter is allowing her to live with her.
Yes, sure.
So
She
my,
did notify me that her daughter is here with her today as well.
all right. So my main concern, and where's the daughter?
The one that I
Okay.
live with, that's my 18-year-old right now. She came with me. And she's the one about to graduate, but my 32-year-old, she's at work right now.
Okay, all right, because I wanted to make sure that these were not young children.
Okay.
So now that I know that they are not, and that you're doing everything that needs to be done, and I see that you lost your home, I'm sorry about that,
Yes. Okay.
but I'm glad that you stayed on track.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen.
Because it's easy to throw up your hands when everything is hitting you
Yes.
all at once. All right, so then this case is going to end up terminating. And you'll have to do anger management on the 2017 case. You understand?
Yes. I do.
All right, is there anything you need from the court?
No, ma'am.
All right, if anything happens or you need some help, let your probation officer know. If you feel they're not addressing it, you can always come in.
I will. Thank
All
you.
right. So when's the last time you had employment?
June the 11th, because we got stopped on the 12th on my daughter's graduation. So June the 11th was my last day working. I was at Church's Chicken located on San Pedro and Bass Road,
All right, and who is James?
correct?
Yes, to you.
My son,
All right, and who is Jocelyn Martinez?
my daughter-in-law,
All right, and how old is James Rector?
31.
All right, it appears that you all are not setting good examples for each other based upon this police report. So it appears that everybody's been using, is that correct?
Everybody been using.
Yes, I mean, the vehicle, when it was pulled over, they said there was a smell of marijuana.
Yes.
And then according to this, you had drugs in your bra.
Yes.
That's an issue. And that's a problem. So is your son on any type of probation?
No.
Do you have any grandchildren?
11.
All right. Do you have, and your biological children, how old are they? What are their ages?
36, 34, 29, 19, and 31.
So if you were released, who would you be living with?
My 34-year-old, she's here.
All right. And who's your 34-year-old?
Johnetta Henderson, same one that's always here.
Okay.
She's in yellow.
All right. So when's the last time, June 12th, the 2024, is that the last time you used or no?
I haven't used. I've been clean.
Okay.
Yes.
So when did you start using?
I have it.
No, I mean, at some point in time in your life, you used drugs. So when did you start? How old were you?
18.
And what drugs have you used in the past?
There was marijuana. Oh, in the past, marijuana, crack cocaine, and heroin.
And then the meth that was in this case, had you ever used meth before?
No, ma'am.
But you had it in your bra?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And mental health issues, have you had any diagnosis?
Yes.
All right, what's your diagnosis been?
ADHD, bipolar 1, and PTSD.
Is there anything else I should know?
No, ma'am.
All right. Can I have her relative come up?
Yeah.
Hi. Can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Janetta Henderson.
All right, and so are you related to Miss Turner?
Yes, ma'am.
And how are you related to her?
That's my mother.
All right. So do you have any children in your home?
Yes, ma'am.
And what are their ages?
16, 13, 12, and 10, and then my sister.
Oh, your sister? Okay. And she's 19?
Yes.
So who all would be living in the home? It's your children, your sister, you, and then your mother?
Mm.
And are you okay with your mother living with you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So in this court, when I give people conditions of probation, everybody has different conditions. I don't have a cookie cutter set thing where everybody does this and everybody does that. I try to do conditions that can help the specific person that's before me. So what do you think your mom needs to help her to be successful on probation? Trick question, not a trick question. What kind of conditions can I give her to help her? For example, some people appear before me, they have children, so I know they need parenting classes.
Mm.
Some people have anger management problems, so I know that they may need some help with their anger management. What does she need, do you think? Oh, yeah, just tell me.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
The drug court.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. Thank you so much for letting me know. And that's the type of honesty I need, because guess what? I always tell people when they appear before me, if you tell me you don't have a drug problem and I send you out into the world
Mm.
and you end up using, that's 100% on you.
Mm.
But if you tell me you have a drug problem and I send you on the work out in the world without giving you any help, then that's sort of on me, because you've said, Judge, help me. I have a drug problem. So I'm glad you let me know that. So I'm going to give her some treatment for that to make sure that that's not an issue, or at least she can recognize what an issue is and then take care of it. Because the last thing you need is somebody who may be using ended up over your children, because then that means that Child Protective Services is going to get involved. You understand? All right. So drug court, anything else? All right. Thank you so much for letting me know. I appreciate it. And thank you for coming back to support her.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you. All righty. If you'll come back. All right. So I want you to know, one, not your daughter's fault, right?
No.
Your daughter loves you.
Yes.
She wants you to be successful. I'm sure she doesn't want her mom to end up going to prison for 2 years, because then that'll be 2 years that she won't see you.
Yeah.
So I'm going to set conditions for you, and these are going to be conditions that can help you. I know that probation, I know that drug court, they're sort of full. So I'm going to try her with Esperanza Court. And Esperanza Court, they'll be able to see you this week or either next week at the latest. And if they don't see you next week, your attorney can come back and I'll see you next week, okay? And I want you to be 100% honest with them. And they're going to try to get you into a situation where you can be successful on this probation, okay?
Yes.
So there's going to be $1,000 fine. I'm going to probate that. There's going to be a referral to Esperanza Court. And that will be in custody. And if they haven't, counsel, if they haven't seen her by Wednesday of next week, just come back and let me know and we'll have it brought over and I'll take care of it, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Sure, my client will remind me.
Okay. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. There's to be regular random UAs. There's to be proof of employment within 45 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. With regard to that no unsupervised contact, that means that there needs to be another adult who's suitable, to be around the children. Once you are in complete sobriety, all your attorney has to do is come back to me and say, hey, we would like to change that, and I'll consider changing that. But for now, if you want to be around your grandchildren, there needs to be an adult there to say it's okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. There's going to be field visits 1 time per month until further notice. 150 hours community service restitution. How far did you go in school?
No.
All right. So what do you want to do with the rest of your life? If you could have your dream job, what would it be? No, you can. What do you want to do? When you were a little girl, who did you want to be? What did you want to grow up to be?
Pediatric nurse in Houston.
All right. So let me explain something to you. You look at your life and you know what you say? I can never accomplish that, right? There was a guy, because I always go to the drug court graduations. There was a guy there who had all of these criminal cases, but he always wanted to be an attorney. And people will tell you, when you have criminal cases in your background, anything that you need a license for, the government does a background check. And when they see this criminal history, they'll say no. But guess what? He's an attorney.
Mm.
And you know what ended up happening? He graduated, he went to law school, and in law school, he let them know prior to going to law school, this is how it changed my life. And they actually had a board to meet with him, a board of individuals to say, hey, why should we give you this license? He passed the bar and everything. And then he told them how he became addicted to drugs, how he changed his life around. And you know what he said they told him? Thank you for letting us know. We think you'll be good for the profession. So it's not something that's impossible. You just made it difficult.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to do 150 hours community service restitution. And if you obtain your GED, or if you get some sort of, go to some sort of trade school and get your certificate, I'll consider the 150 hours of community service restitution satisfied. All right.
Yes.
And we'll do referral to Center for Healthcare Services. And if not accepted into Esperanza Court, is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No.
All right. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. I know this seems like a lot, right? And you probably thought, I'm getting out of jail today. And so not getting out of jail today probably has hit you like a ton of bricks. But this is what you have to realize. In life, it takes time to be where you want to be, and it takes a lot of work. So the question you have to ask yourself, would you rather go to Esperanza Court and probably have 100%, well, 99% chance of completing this successfully, or not go to Esperanza Court and probably have a 10% chance of completing this successfully? This is something that you need. And once you get your life together and you do everything right, I'm sure your grandchildren will be happy to have their grandmother in their life, and your children, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So in this court, communication is key. If there's an issue, let your probation officer know. Even if you think you're going to use again, let your probation officer know. If they're not addressing it, you can always come back to court. I'm always here Monday through Friday. Okay. All right. Good luck to you. Okay. I'm rooting for you.
Thank you.
All right.
Just in reference to any possibility that you might hold her pending the TAP evaluation, she can probably speak to this better than I, but in the interim, since this happened, she has cut ties with all of those people. Additionally, she lost her son, so she's now the caretaker of her grandchild, and she has a job. And so the longer she sits in jail, the more likely she might lose that job. She's been doing very well, other than there was an FTA on her, which I don't remember there being an FTA, so I'm not really sure why she was on bond and got taken back into custody. But she understands that if you release her today, she must go in to get the TAP evaluation, and failing to do so you would issue another warrant.
All right. How old are you?
I'm 42, ma'am.
How many children do you have?
I have 3,
What are their ages?
20, 18, and 16.
And how old is this grandchild that your attorney was speaking of?
Grandbaby's just gonna come soon. She's on, it's on, still. She's still pregnant with the baby.
Okay. Who's with your 16-year-old?
A 16-year-old's in foster care right now. We're fighting for her to come home.
Okay, so there is a CPS case.
No, it's not a CPS case. When I was in prison this last time, my dad had custody of my baby. And CPS case was on my ex-husband because he mistreated her. So I've been fighting for her to come back home to me. But because she's in another state, and I've been doing it into like through the phone, talking to the courts over the phone and fighting for my child like that way.
When's the last time you had employment before you were in custody?
I'm sorry.
When is the last time you had employment before you were taken into custody?
When was you have a job? Tell her
Oh,
about
I have
that.
a job right now. I work at Burlington, ma'am. It took me 2 weeks to fight to get into this job.
And these other people you were with, how do you know them?
There were street family. I just cut them off.
Wait a minute, what?
It was like a street family, something by myself.
A street family.
A street family. Like I don't talk to my blood family because they were putting me in the bed. So I cut ties to my own blood family, and I grew on to the street family, but I cut ties to them too because they were putting me in the bed as well. I just chose to do better for myself. 'cause
Where are
I'm
you
gonna be a
from?
grandmother.
Where
I'm
are
from
you-
here, ma'am. I just cut ties to my whole family just so I could better my life.
Is there any gang affiliation? See, I'm trying to figure out, how did you come to be with two other people who obviously everybody has drugs, there are guns in the car.
One's my brother and the other one's my cousin. That's why I'm cutting ties to my own.
Okay,
family.
so you were saying that this is your street family, so now I'm hearing these are
No,
blood
The
relatives?
ones, my co-defendants were my blood family. My street family that I was living with, I cut ties to them because they started to use drugs and I'm trying to get away from it. Because I want to live for my better for my grandchild and try and get my baby back.
Right, so
That's the reason why I
what drugs
got
have you
them.
been using?
I've been using methamphetamines, but I'm sober. Prior to coming in for this warrant, I was already sober for a week and a half. I cut ties from doing drugs. I'm even signing up to go to be a substance abuse counselor as well, man.
All right. So what's her criminal history like? What's your criminal history?
My criminal history is possession, ma'am.
Have you been to prison before?
Yes, ma'am.
State
State jail
For what?
for possession.
All right. So what drugs have you used other than meth?
Marijuana.
And what else?
That's it, ma'am.
Well, in this police report, it says that you all had Xanax in a cooler.
That happened to do me.
All right. How long would it be to get a TAP evaluation while in custody?
2 weeks.
All right. I'm going to need a TAP evaluation.
I'm just really afraid this job that she has at Burlington won't last that long. And she knows that if she doesn't show up to probation to do the tap, that you're gonna issue a warrant. She'll be right back in
No,
jail.
I mean, she may need inpatient treatment. That's why, I mean, I don't know. But it's obvious to me she has major drug issues, and the fact that she has a child that's in foster care,
But
in
that-
which state?
Not to cut you off, ma'am, but that foster care is not my fault.
Yeah, it is,
So how is it my fault when? I
because you
gave
were
my-
in
my dad-
prison.
I was in prison because of possession charge,
Yes.
but I wasn't using.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Then this time I was, ma'am. I really
All right, let
was
me ask you
using it,
this.
and I'm going to classes for this stuff.
Oh, no, she can continue. All right, I understand, but here's the thing. I've done CPS cases before as a defense attorney. And when clients would tell me, hey, it's not my fault, my child is in care, I've been at the prison, somebody else should have been doing that. But when children are brought into this world, you know who's responsible for them? The mother, the father. Those are the people responsible. And a lot of people think that grandparents are responsible, but grandparents are not really responsible. Sometimes they step up and say, I'll do this, but that's not their job. So if your child is under CPS care while you were in prison, that's partially your fault because you should have been there. You were not there. You were at the prison for possession. I understand about the Burlington job. I really do, but you're not going to be any help to your grandchild until you get help with your own drug problem. And I can tell you right now, if Child Protective Services is doing their job, they are not going to allow you around your grandchild until you get your life together. And being drug-free for 2 weeks on meth is not a long time. That's not even enough to start a habit of not using.
Man, what I just started using, that's why I got off of it.
All right, so you say the TAP evaluation can be done in 2 weeks? All right, Ms. Fergus, can you recall this in 3 weeks? And we're just doing a TAP evaluation. All right, we're gonna do February 2nd, and probation, can you do a referral also to felony drug court? Felony drug court will, Ms. Kramer will probably be able to see her by next week.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. So we'll see you back on February 2nd. I'm sorry. All right, is there anything you wish to say? All right, can you raise your right hand for me? You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, how many children do you have? I'm sorry?
3,
What are their ages?
20, 18, and 16.
And where's the 16-year-old and 18-year-old living?
So my 18-year-old has her own place. My 16-year-old is with her foster family.
With who?
Foster family.
And who is Raul Hinojosa to you?
That's my older brother.
And who is, well, you say your little brother, how old is he?
Raul also my older brother.
Oh, that's your older brother?
Yeah.
All right, and who is Valdemar Hinojosa?
That's my cousin.
And when you're released, where are you going to be living?
Oh, with Myra Meeks.
I'm sorry,
With Myra Meeks.
who is that?
He's like next street, mom's a friend of mine. He's a real good friend of mine.
What do you mean she's like your street mom?
Yeah, I look up to her. She's my mom.
What does she do for a living? What
Sorry,
does she do for a living?
she's retired now. She's just a housewife.
All right, and does she, I don't even know who this person is. Does anybody know who this person is?
This is the first I'm hearing of it, in terms of where she would live. I don't know if probation asked her that or not.
All right, so here's the thing. I have an issue with somebody saying they're gonna live with their street mom. I don't know anything about her.
That's fine.
So you're not gonna be able to live there until I get more information, until probation is able to go out there. So she's gonna have to live at Haven for Hope or somewhere else. All right, this is what the court is gonna do. The court is gonna sentence you to 10 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 10 years, $2,500 fine. That'll be probated. There is a $57 restitution to SAPD for laboratory testing. Regular UAs. Well, no, we're gonna do the UA hotline. And she needs to be tested at least once a week, and that's until further notice. 200 hours of community service restitution, 40 of those hours will be waived if you provide proof of the COVID vaccination. The court is not requiring you to get the COVID vaccination, but if you do, 40 of those hours will be waived. Parenting classes, once you complete parenting classes, the remaining hours will be waived. There's to be no unsupervised contact. And what is your street mother's name?
Myra Meeks,
Could you spell the last name?
MINX.
M-I-N-X, Judge. Myra, M-Y-R-A.
Yeah, MARA.
Myra Minx, M-I-N-X.
Yes, Judge.
All right, so you're not allowed to reside with Myra Minx until that place is reviewed by probation, until we review her criminal history. You are not allowed to have contact. There's been no contact. Probation, is there any, I'm sorry, outpatient treatment with probation? You can go off the record. Good luck to you. You're gonna have to do better.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Maybe be excused.
Yes.
Sitting on the right side, right, Judge?
Hmm?
I'm sitting on the correct side?
Yes, you are.
Sure.
Oh, and congratulations on the baby. She's such a cutie pie.
My gosh, Judge, my first two, brown,
Mhm.
brown eyes, whole way through.
Mhm.
My wife's got green.
Mhm.
I've been, this little girl, if you take my wife's green eyes and then you take a little bit lighter shade of my brown
Mhm.
and you overlay them, that's my daughter's eye right now.
Aw,
Like that jungle green.
yes.
I don't know if it's gonna fade though.
You're like praying, please don't let it fade.
I'm like, please don't let it fade. At the same time though, dark green eyes with my skin color, I'm gonna have to fight I'm gonna have to get shotgun light.
People will ask questions like, where are the dark green eyes coming from? And then she can tell everybody. But she is a cutie pie. It's hard to believe it's been a month.
You're telling me, Judge.
Time goes fast.
Yeah, especially when you're not getting any sleep.
Yeah,
Goes by real fast.
she's running the household. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
All right, court is going to call 2022 CR 9686B, State of Texas versus Betty Jean Gonzalez, AKA Betty. The court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 1?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 1 true. Is there an agreement?
There is, Judge. I've spoken to defense counsel and Deshaun with probation, and we'd like to refer the defendant to felony drug court, Judge. And if she's not accepted in the felony drug court, we'd like her to go to inpatient, either SATF or safety, Judge.
All right, defense, is that the agreement?
It is, Judge.
All right, Ms. Gonzalez, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand. Would you state your name for the record?
Betty Jean Gonzalez.
All right. So, Ms. Gonzalez, you know yourself better than I do, better than your attorney does, and better than probation does. If you want the treatment and you have a drug problem, I will most definitely refer you. I'll deny the motion, refer you to felony drug court. If felony drug court doesn't accept you, then you will be accepted into an inpatient treatment facility. But you know whether you can do this or not. Now, with the amount of drugs you had, even though it was reduced to possession, felony drug court may not accept you. And that's based upon the amount of drugs you have. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, so I can do that, or if you would like, I can revoke you and I will sentence you to 4 years in the prison. So it's completely up to you. When people want help, I want to give them help. I want people to do better. I note that you have people in your life, probably young people in your life, because I ordered parenting classes for you. But if you're not ready to take the help and ready to really work hard, because you're going to have to work really hard to maintain your sobriety, to not pick up any more cases. And I know with the possession less than, the possession penalty group 1, I know the only difference between that case that you have and not having it is the fact that you didn't get a chance to use it. So I understand that. So what would you like to do? If you would like to discuss it with your attorney, you can, but you know yourself better than I do and he does.
I do need the help.
All
I
right.
really do want the help.
So you want the help?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So I'm going to give you the help, but you're going to have to make better decisions. When things happen in your life, the go-to can't be, I'm going to go out and get drugs, because otherwise what's going to end up happening is you're going to have another case and you're going to be back before me. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. The court will deny the motion, alter and amend conditions to do a referral to felony drug court. If not accepted, then inpatient treatment, either at, if probation, if you're recommending SATF or safety. All right, that'll be SATF. And if SATF doesn't accept her, then it will be ISF, cognitive and substantive tract. And this is to happen while in custody. If you are accepted in felony drug court will be the person that is over your probation. The only time you'll come back to me is if you are unsuccessful, or if you're coming back to me asking me to appear at your graduation.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
I always, if I'm in town, I will be at your graduation, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you. And state is dismissing the other charge. All right, is there anything else?
Nothing from the defense, Judge.
Probation, is there anything else she needs? All right, thank you, good luck.
Thank you. Excuse?
Yes.
On or about the 11th day of October 2024 in Bear County, Texas, the defendant Betty Jean Gonzalez did fail to turn herself into the Bear County Jail by 5 p.m. in violation of condition number 48.
To violation of condition number 48, how do you plead? True or not true? True. You understand you're actually on deferred adjudication for a term of 10 years. Do you understand that? So the fact that you're on probation for a term of 10 years, it tells me that this case was on a razor's edge on whether you should go to prison or whether you should be on probation. Do you understand? I'm going to give you a choice today. I think you need help. I think you have drug issues. I think if you don't maintain your sobriety, one or two things going to happen. Either you're going to end up spending a lot of time in prison, or either somebody's going to have to identify a body that's on the side of the road. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So here are your choices. I can follow the agreement that's been reached by both parties, or either I can sentence you to 4 years in the prison. You know yourself better than I do, better than your attorney does, better than the state does, or probation does. But if you wish to be continued on probation, I'm sending you to safety. And once you're released from safety, you can be referred to felony drug court. As of now, felony drug court does not have any room. So which do you prefer? So which do you prefer? All right. And I think that's something you need. And this is not your first motion to revoke. And you have children. That's why I ordered parenting classes. So I'll deny the motion, alter and amend conditions to include safety. And she's to remain in custody until transfer. And we can do a referral to felony drug court, so she'll be on their radar. So when she's released. Okay, all right, thank you. Then it'll be safety, followed by aftercare. And then once she's released, I'm gonna want 120 sober meetings in 120 days. Counsel, is there anything else?
Sorry, Your Honor.
Is there anything you need from the court to be successful? Anything else? All right, good luck to you. And attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, the court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is there anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, Your Honor. Well, she doesn't have much of a record. She had a state jail offense several years ago, and we're just asking that you grant her the deferred adjudication.
All right, Ms. Ruiz, I'm going to ask you some questions. I need you to be honest with me because I need to figure out what conditions to set for your probation. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So the questions I'm going to ask you, know that I'm going to have you do a test anyway. If you're tested for drugs today, what are the results? And know for a fact that you are going to be tested today. So what are the results going to be?
For a UA.
And don't start with just marijuana, because everybody says that because they think it's okay to use marijuana because people are legalizing it. So what are you going to be positive for today?
I'm going to be positive for marijuana.
And what else?
That's it. That's all I do. That's all I just smoke.
All right, you're gonna get a UA today, and that UA had better only be positive for marijuana. If it's positive for something else, we're gonna have a problem. When's the last time you used meth?
I don't use meth, ma'am. Like I just smoke weed. That's all I do. Like I've never been charged with this type of drug or anything like that. Like this really wasn't mine, ma'am. Like it was in my possession. Yes, it was in my vehicle, but it was not mine. And that's the honest to God truth.
All right. You're gonna, do you have any children?
Yes, ma'am.
What are their ages?
3, 4, and 9.
Do they live with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Is Child Protective Services involved?
No, Your Honor.
Have they ever been involved?
Yes.
All right. Are you employed?
No.
How are you supporting yourself?
Well, since the whole pandemic and everything started, my kids have been out of school and I don't have anybody to care for them. So I've been the only provider for them here.
I'll say, so I'm back to my question. How are you supporting them? You don't have a
Uh,
job.
No, well, right now I'm on Section 8 and just the help that I get from the government, that's about it. I don't, and currently right now I've filed for child support, but that's about it.
When's the last time you had employment?
I'm gonna say about a year ago, maybe. It was a
Doing
little
what?
after I had my son. It
Doing
was
what?
maybe like a year and a half ago.
Doing
Uh,
what?
I think it was at Fred's Fish. I think that was my last job. It
Oh,
was
they do
Fred's
have-
Fish or it was Fred's Fish or Jay Anthony's.
All right,
It
they
was
do
one of
have
those.
employees at Fred's Fish Fry. Okay, that has always been a question for everybody. All right. How far did you go in school?
I only went to freshman year to 9th grade.
Do you have a degree? Did you graduate? Did you
No, I didn't.
You have a
No.
GED?
No, I don't.
So you're just having children.
No,
The
I'm not just
taxpayers-
having children.
The taxpayers, which is everybody on this screen, is supporting them and supporting you. So I'm gonna put an end to that. This is what we're gonna do. It's $1,500 fine. $1,500 fine, that will be probated. 2 years deferred adjudication. You're gonna do a UA today by 2 p.m. And probation, I'm gonna want her tested for levels. You're gonna take parenting classes, because when you were out and about driving, I don't know where your children were, but they were not in the vehicle with you. You're gonna have proof of employment within 30 days, 120 hours of community service restitution. You're gonna obtain a GED or go to some type of trade school or do something with your life. You understand? There's gonna be random UAs. And I'm going to want field visits.
Your Honor, no disrespect, but like, how are you like saying all this about me when you don't even know anything about me?
Let me tell you what I know
Like, you're
about you.
just telling
Let
me
me just tell you what I know
because I'm
about
on
you.
Section 8,
Yeah.
it means that I'm living off of the government, that I'm not being a good mom to my children. That's what you're
Let me
like
ask you
saying
this.
about me right now.
Yeah,
And I
yes,
feel
I
very
am. Let me just tell you what I'm
disrespected right now.
saying. Let me ask you a question. You just told me you're going to be positive for marijuana. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. So here's the thing. Let's say you need a babysitter for your children.
Ma'am,
And
I
the
know
children, nope. Let me finish.
Yeah, you
Because
need
you're
to let her
you're
talk.
trying to tell me you're such a great parent. Let me ask you this. You need a babysitter for your children. She's the Mary Poppins of babysitters. She comes to your house, your children love her, and she tells you, hey, by the way, I smoke marijuana. That's all I do. And if you test me today, I'm going to be positive for marijuana. Are you letting her babysit your children? Are you letting Mary Poppins, who's telling you she's going to be positive for marijuana, babysit your children? Yes or no?
No, ma'am.
Yeah, well, you're the Mary Poppins who's positive for marijuana, babysitting young children, who has no job, who's had CPS in your life, who was driving around with marijuana in your vehicle. And yes, you are not supporting yourself. The people who are supporting you right now and supporting your children are taxpayers. You just told me your children, you don't have child support for them, so the father's not supporting them. You just told me you don't have a job, you're not supporting them. You just told me you're going to be positive for marijuana, so you tell me, what is the description of a good parent? Is it somebody who has no job, cannot support their own children, depending on taxpayers, and positive for marijuana?
No, Your Honor.
So that's what I know about you right now. So I'm going to help you straighten your life out. So hopefully your children will lead a different life, because right now the only example your children have on how to be a good parent is you. And the example that you have given them is, I can't support you. I need taxpayers to support you. I've chosen fathers for you who will not physically support you. I've had CPS cases, but I can use marijuana. So this is what we're doing. $1,500 fine that's probated, 2 years deferred adjudication, a UA today by 2 p.m., parenting classes, proof of employment within 30 days, 120 hours of community service restitution, and that will not be waived under any circumstances. She is to do the 120 hours of community service. You're going to obtain a GED or get in some type of trade school, random UAs, and I want field visits at her house because obviously Child Protective Services is not visiting her and somebody needs to look out for these children. And there's going to be outpatient treatment. Is there anything else you feel you need to be successful on this probation?
No, Your Honor.
Probation, is there anything else she needs?
No, just make sure you got the 57 for Bear Lab, please.
Thank you. And $57 to Bear County for laboratory testing. Next. Oh, and the other thing, Rebecca, I'm going to want weekly Zoom reporting until further notice.
Yes, ma'am.
And make sure those field visits are at least once a month. Showing you what's entitled trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. I'm sending you to a breakout room. Probation will go over conditions with you. And Ms. Lee, you can go to the breakout room with her if you so choose. Otherwise, you are excused.
Okay,